He wants out of his GT43?
Correct.
How long has he had it?
It's already been 2 years.
What's he paying on it?
1840. He wants to go down to a $1,200 carbine. He sent over a couple options yesterday. He sent over the two C43s because obviously those are heavily incentivized. He also said, you know, what about a GLA 35? You guys have that black one for 60 grand.
Problem is that with that kind of negative equity, we have to be thinking about loan to value.
Exactly. He wanted to see if we can lease one of the E450s. I'm like, that ship is gone. Those are finance or cash.
That wouldn't have worked anyway. So it sounds like he's open to kind of whatever that will get him out and get him.
Something nice. I mean, not like a base car. I don't know if he would fit in a C43. He's 6'5".
What do you do in EQ?
No, it was the first thing I presented yesterday. Not a fan of electric.
I'm trying to give you a way out.
I'll ask him again. What do you think of EQ AMG?
That's possible. Or a EQS. We have a cheap EQS sedan.
What about one of the E sedans?
That could be intriguing. You think you'd be open to that? That could be a good idea. Let's just plug it in real quick and see. There's a black one, 350.
Nice build.
It's one of those driver assist cars. They come standard with so much now. How many miles a year does he need?
12 maintenance. Looking for a $1,200 car payment.
Here's the problem. He's got $600 a month in negative equity. We would have to find a $600 a month car, which pretty much doesn't exist. So a C300 demo is about our only option.
What about that black on black E? He said he's open to it.
Still not going to get there either.
The C43 Ryan gave me yesterday is $1,480 a month.
For how many months?
48.
That's probably by far going to be the best deal. That'll get to $1,375 for 48 months. I'm going to jazz it up. I printed both the E-Class and the C43 in jazz form.
He originally inquired on a C-Class or CLA. I went ahead and just kind of ran the numbers with Sam just to see what it looked like. And oh my God, it's like $66,000 for a CLA or something. And he only has like $1,000 now.
What's his ultimate goal?
Absolutely hates his current car. It's a 2024. He's put 15,000 miles on it. He's like, dude, I cannot stand this thing. I was like, we have an option for you, but you're going to have to be flexible. It's going to be an electric car. That's the only route you're going to be able to go if you want to get out of this right now with us. And he's like, I would love an electric car. I didn't really think that I could afford one, to be honest, but I told him about the incentives that we have on them right now.
How much can he withstand from a payment perspective?
Well, he pays $750 currently. He knows that the payment's going to go up. It's probably going to be about $1,100-$1,200 a month. And he only has $1,500 to put down too. So it's not like we're in a great situation.
Have we picked out a car for him?
Yeah.
Which car is it?
It's an EQB.
How long has he had this car?
Less than a year.
I want to make sure we get the lease mileage so that he's not in a bad spot. But I don't want him to do a lower mileage lease that's not going to accommodate what he really needs. He's probably driving about 16,000 miles a year or so, which is not terrible.
What's the worst negative equity situation you've ever seen?
We actually did a deal the other day. Somebody had 2 trades, and between the 2 of them, he was about 100K flips. So that was... Yeah. So here's the thing. The EQB has good programs, but not being a demo does work against us a little bit. Demos just end up being so much better. A C-Class lease that could be deeply discounted could end up being better.
My name is Gavin, and you're watching my TikTok.
You are watching my TikTok live and in person.
Oh, Doug's got a mic like now. Holy.
Stepping up to the big leagues now. Why don't you present that, see what he thinks. We could look at like a cheapy C300. I actually think this option is going to be better. Residual's a lot higher. It can be deeply discounted as a demo. It just shakes out to be a better option. So present them both. If you like CEQB more, great. But I think this one is going to be a little less money, and then he won't have to get a home charger. Just present them both options, see what he thinks.
Looking at a GLB loaner, the son who's buying the car for the dad loves this lease deal that we have on this GLB loaner. However, his dad is a little hesitant to lease again. He's leased his last few cars. He's like, it might be my last car. I might just want to buy it. They still have about 3 payments left in their Honda that they're currently driving. He's like, I feel like I just need to show him 24 loaner and then a new 2025 GLB. We'd have to locate a 25 GLB 250.
The 25 GLBs must not be out yet.
It's weird though, because when I locate one, it says that everybody else has 25 GLBs.
Really?
Yeah, we just don't. I was like, why do we have a 25 GLB 35 but not a 250?
That is a great question, probably by design, unless I put them all in loaner. There's only 141 in the entire Northeast region, which is not right. Should be over 1,000. So my guess is that they've just recently started to allocate them. This is probably like GLCs were about a month and a half ago. We had been sold out for a couple months, and then overnight they gave us like 30.
It sounds like they basically just need to compare pricing from a 24 to a 25.
The GLB demos that we have, we let those things ride for a while, which meant that they got written down a bunch. We understand that the attention has been more on the GLC, but there's not an incentive on the GLB from the manufacturer. Mercedes-Benz doesn't have a standard incentive, so that $7,000 discount is entirely from us. All right, so what color does he want?
I just randomly picked a black one with a beige interior. He prefers a brighter color with a black interior.
There's one silver one out there. I'll price that. Does he even want to see the lease on the 25 or just go right to a purchase?
No, you'd want to see a lease too.
Was he just really looking at 36?
36 and first payment down and 72 months.
Anything else that we need?
I don't think so.
Hopefully this is helpful for him and doesn't create analysis paralysis, but we'll find out.
Alrighty.
That's a Tesla Plaid Model S.
What's her payoff?
100,041. She's on 40 grand in the hole, and she's on our EQE.
I think it's probably a 63 car. We got 37K in negative. Well, I've seen worse. I've seen better, but I've seen worse.
Yeah.
You said that she financed it
Through Navy Federal.
My guess is that the car was somewhere over 100 for her to have the loan size that she does. But that also means that her payment is going to be more in line with a purchase payment. Maybe it's $1,800 a month.
Just a little over 2 grand a month. Very high.
The money factor is very inexpensive on this car. How many miles a year?
She's at 10 or 12.
I mean, God, considering the negative equity, this comes out way better than I thought it would. She just doesn't like that car, trying to get out of the negative equity, or does she have a different objective?
It's about getting out of the negative. Okay. Should rather have the Benz, but the main objective here is to get out from under that equity.
This will definitely help her do that. This was her preferred option. If she doesn't go for this, then almost anything else that we look at will be better. I'm showing $2,500 at signing, which is basically just your first payment and registration and all that.
This EQE SUV is badass, by the way.
Oh, yeah. It's easily the coolest one we have.
Are they flipping 37,000?
She's in 23 Tesla Plaid. She retailed it. She owes 100,041. It's worth 64.
How much is paying with it?
Paying 2,093. She could be if she does 42. She's only a few dollars.
Oh, dude.
She's out of it if she gets.
And it's a lease. That should be a no-brainer.
Even though this car is a demo,
Doesn't lease as well.
it doesn't, because the money factor is significantly higher. This ends up actually being a little bit more. I'd say go for the AMG.
Absolutely.
All right, let's make it happen. Let's solve problems.
Go Don.
2 G-Wagon deals. Okay.
Last I spoke with her was July 30th. Since I got back, I have nothing working, so I've been just reaching out to people I've worked in the past couple of months. Asked her if she's still in the market. She said, yeah. And I'm like, well, because we worked the white on red last time. And she never ended up going forward with it. I'm like, hey, we have 2 other ones here as well. She actually doesn't care for the bright red interior. She prefers the darker red. She's giving her car to her son next month, so she has to make a decision soon. I showed her photos of the white and photos of the graphite. We're on the 23 graphite. I sent you VINs for both deals that I'm working.
Are we doing finance?
Lease.
There's no lease support on 23s anymore.
I'm letting her know.
You should just do ASMR videos of you typing.
Should we pause this and then go to my other guy?
I'm just going to give her a finance quote.
He said, can you send leasing info on the white one and buying info on the graphite?
Yes.
0 for both. 0 down on G-Wagon sounds like good credit.
Could be excellent credit.
Show both of those options to buy. For the lease, it's 12,000 miles.
I was already working on the 23, so I'm going to do that one first. All right, so here is the 23. Very compelling option. I have a lot of people that have reached out on that car. We are still on the adventure car to a degree. If she ends up going with this car, we will have her sign something just acknowledging that that did happen and that we don't have any information on the Carfax that would hurt its value. We can't guarantee that that wouldn't ever happen down the road. We just have no way of knowing. Which car are we on?
It's a Starling Blue loaner. Yeah, he's currently on a Chevy Equinox lease. He doesn't want to put anything down. They're not going to trade it in. He's still got 6 payments left on the lease, but he's said his dad's kind of over it and just wants something different at this point. He's trying to figure out the best way to purchase the car because he may end up just financing as well.
So I'll show a lease and a buy. You said 10,000 miles? Now it is a GLB, so we do have 599 through Mercedes-Benz Financial. It's up to 72 months now, which is cool because when they had the special rates in the past, it was only up to 60. That said, I think when you look at this, when you compare the lease versus the buy, to me, the lease makes a lot more sense. The residual on the GLB is very high. It's 57%, which to me is part of the incentive of a GLB. I don't think that it's going to be worth 7% of its value in 3 years. I would think that it would be smarter to just do like a cash incentive instead of take all the risk of having a bunch of GLBs coming offers that are worth a lot less than 57%. If you look at that,
Huge difference.
36 months with nothing down at all, you're just making your first payment, you're at 671. Even if you did a 72-month finance with no money down, you're $150 a month higher. This is what I have really been trying to communicate to people. This is a heavily incentivized lease. You've got a 3-year lease. You're going to save $150 a month versus doing a 6-year finance. When you get to the end of that lease, we look at its market value versus your buyout. If the car held its value unexpectedly well, then you have equity and you can pocket that. You can put it towards your next car, whatever. If it tanks in value, not your problem. But if you buy it, whatever happens, happens, and it's on you.
This is that client with negative equity on the Nissan.
What car are they on?
We're gonna go with that C-Class.
We're going to sell this to somebody. I'm quoting everybody on this car. So he is in Alabama.
Sweet home Alabama.
10 is the trade.
Yeah, let's just do 10 flat and call it a day.
How many miles a year does he need?
15.
I think we just did an Alabama deal, actually. You do have a full address from him. That's helpful. You have the accurate payoff.
Yes.
Whoa, this is some weird tax. 1.523 state plus 1.125 county plus 1.5 city.
What?
Equals 4.148, allegedly. Giving us any money?
True zero.
I'm guessing we've got two-way shipping, right?
Yeah, just put that in there.
It's a great opportunity between Sam's Club and dealer contribution. It's a compelling deal. His payment's going to go up, especially if he's giving us nothing at all.
Here's where my head's at. We go down to 12,000 miles. He drives up here to exchange the cars, and I get the first payment.
That's a big trip to come up here from Alabama, so we don't necessarily have to force that, but that is a way that you could save money. But it also isn't free to drive up here and do all of that. There's going to be expenses. He may not see the value in that. If his credit is solid, then we're within loan-to-value parameters. He just needs to be comfortable with the payment going up. But like we talked about this morning, you've got more than $10,000 in negative equity, by the way. We thought it was 10, but it's over 12. You're not giving us anything at all, so your payment can't stay the same. That's just not going to happen. All right, let's present that solution and figure out if it makes sense.
He's a GSM of a Mazda dealership down in Florida.
The guy with the Cayenne?
Yeah, he wanted quotes on 2 cars. It's an S63. We have a black one.
Really? He was asking me about GLEs. I see a GT63 in here.
That's one of the cars he's looking at. He wants to price out a lease and a finance. On the lease, he needs 12,000 miles a year.
This is the red one, right?
Yes, this car's hot.
They are not going to lease great, though. The residual is very low. You said Florida?
Yeah.
Any money is signing?
He wants to see 0, 5, and 10 down.
$12,000 or 10?
10.
So we'll get pretty aggressive here on the GT. At least the first option is just first payment at signing. They're remarkably similar. For the safety of it, I would recommend the lease, not the buy. Yeah.
No doubt. Don't know what the car's equity is going to look like down the road.
Now, for the S, this is probably going to look a little different.
In a good way?
I would expect the car does have the...
It's a higher MSRP.
Yeah, that's true. Also, it has the tax credit. And this one's got about 550 miles on it or so. In both cases on these, the residuals are just very low. Given how expensive this car is, it actually comes out quite a bit higher than the GT. This guy must be a baller. Be looking at S63s and GT. Mazda business must be nice down there.
Sounds like it.
She wants a GLE 350, Alpine on Bahia Brown. I said, would you consider if I gave you a crazy deal, this GLE 450, which we have in stock, which is Alpine on Bahia. That's around 3,600 miles. She's like, if the deal makes sense for you and Doug, I've been watching his videos, I would 100% take the 450. She messaged me directly on TikTok yesterday when I was on live with you. She's like, I really like how you do your business. Like, you seem very charismatic. I'm beginning to run around at Mercedes-Benz of Fort Lauderdale.
You put yourself on the internet and people can see how great you are.
She got a quote for 550. She has new tires as of 3 months ago. She's got a little scuff up here and she's never done brakes. Payoff's 20 grand. She's like, I'd really like to be at a break even. I'm like, well, you have some damage on the car. I can't give you a break even. So I think she's 2 grand upside down, but she's incredibly over miles by 10,000.
So is that payoff to get her out free and clear, or is
that payoff is from... This is to pay off the car through October 8th.
She's got a bad car fee?
Yes, the car's worth like 18 grand.
We're going to give her a real trade number, and then we will give her a great deal on the car she's buying. I'm quite confident that if she were to call that other dealership back and say, I just want to sell you the car, what do you think they would say?
Probably not interested. She wants to, obviously, open shipping to Florida, round trip shipping, open. Needs to be 15,000 miles a year. She's like, I'm flexible on going on a longer term. She's like, minimal, if not no money down, other than the first payment at signing, if possible.
Do you know the exact amount?
3850.
All right, so send her over that GLE 450 and see where we land. Mitsubishi Eclipse Cross. Where did this person come from?
Internet.
Oh, this is a TikTok lead.
Cool, not
All right.
ugly.
What's he owe?
17,153.
Compared to a lot of the deals we've been working lately, Don, does that sound like negative equity to you? That's not much. Glass half full, glass half empty, right, Don? What are we doing here with our Mitsubishi friend? Whoa, 3 accidents on the Carfax.
Oh, heavenly Jesus.
Accident reported minor to moderate damage. Not him, by the way. Not the most recent owner. Hope he knew about that. Whoever the original owner was had a hard time keeping it away from other cars. What is his reason for choosing the EQB?
I think he's looking to get out from under this thing, and electric seems to be the way to do it.
So EQBs, when written down, are pretty tremendous. For the purposes of loan to value, this might be our best option because if we've got somebody that's got some negative equity and maybe their car credit is still a work in progress, the better that it looks to the bank, the better. Technically speaking, a C-Class might be a little bit lower of a payment. However, it won't be as attractive looking to the bank from a loan-to-value perspective. So what's going to bring the payment up on the EQB is going to be a very low residual. However, the banks don't care about that. They just care about what's the dollar amount we're lending on. Does he have Amex, anything like that?
No Amex, he works for Walt Disney World.
That's on the unit fleet list. Weirdly, I'm going in to pull a payoff because I want to make sure it's accurate. There are 2 names on this payoff, neither of which are his. And there's 2 addresses. 2 names that look like husband and wife. Last name is the same, not his last name. Addresses are different, and both addresses are not his address, so I'm a little confused. The payoff is also considerably higher than the one that you mentioned to me.
How much?
Only about $4,400. We might need to do a little more fact-finding here on what's going on because I'm a little confused. Are we appraising the right car? Is the VIN number off by a little bit? Or just say, hey, you know, since we work with that bank, we pulled a payoff to make sure that all of our information was accurate, and it's showing us 2 names that are different people. We're just trying to make sure that we're all on the same page here.
A previous client who leased a SL55 from
How long has he had it?
since May last year. He said it's just too small. I love the car to hear of. I just need something bigger. I got 4,500 miles on it. I put it in.
He's got a great payment on it for what it is. It did, didn't he? He must have taken advantage of the great deals that we had on those.
It's a pretty low payment for an SL55. It's a nice build. Alpine over black. Napa, driver's assistance, touring.
What would he be looking to get into?
It's an S580.
What's his expectation? This is a situation where I worry that we have somebody that's MSRP comparison shopping, where he's going to look at the MSRP of the car he bought and then compare that to the MSRP of this new car he wants and expect that the deal is going to be the same. So we have nearly 28 grand off, a 62% residual on a 3-year lease, which is completely juiced, and an incentivized money factor. MB botched the release of the SLs so badly that those 22s that came out in July of 22, when normally 23 should be right around the corner, the deals were so crazy good on them because they needed to get them moving before the 23s came out, and 62% really. The residual should have been 50. All of the things about that deal were amazing from a lease perspective. That was heavily incentivized across the board. We're moving to a car that has a ultra low residual, a decent money factor, but not nearly good enough to offset that residual, and incentives that are okay, and then we're adding on $900 a month worth of negative equity.
I think he's just throwing a line out there.
Let's work it up. I'm going to structure it the same way as before. All right, Don, here we go. See if he can stomach that. Giving him as nice a deal as I can.
I put in a CLE 53 coupe and a GLE 53 coupe. We're going to price them both. We're not going to trade in the GLE 53 if he gets the CLE, who's just going to have 2. But if he gets the 53, we're going to trade in the GLE. Want to do the CLE first, since it's just pricing without a trade?
Let's knock out the trade. I am so pleased. No, I don't need to reach out to him. He just bought out of this lease. That was you 5 minutes ago.
I was going to reach out to him.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I was going to just now. He literally bought it out this summer.
People's opinions on what they want to do with cars change like the weather.
He doesn't need brakes because he just did them. Let's price out the CLE.
So he's on a CLE 450, or what are we doing?
53.
Are we looking at a lease? Mm-hmm. We went from no programs to an incentivized money factor. That's a big deal. How many miles a year?
I think it was 10. And he has Epic.
We're going to have to go manual here. They don't have the new programs in yet.
Why do I feel like this is very low for a 24?
Ford Escape's not that expensive.
How much is it brand new?
I don't know. Can't be that much.
He just said that's too low of an offer. How did I know he's gonna? It just looks low, bro.
The problem with cars like that, it's very difficult to sell cars that are current model year but used. They don't qualify for any incentives. There's nothing great about them other than being a little less expensive than a new one. Here is the CLE Coupe, and now we're going to do GLE Coupe. We're doing a lease or a purchase on this?
Lease.
A lease. I'm going to show down for the GLE Coupe just the equity. Mercedes is stepping up, and I love it. Oh, I'm sorry. That's your payoff. I didn't mean to crumple that. I got excited.
What was his monthly payment last?
His original payment was $1,346. That was with 10,000 down though, and that was on an 86K car back in the old days. He got that car right before things got crazy.
His GLS, I put an AccuTrade. Hybrid number 60,886 and 69 cents. The car's only worth like 51 grand.
I'm trying to get in to see what the accident is. Accident reported involving front or side impact with another motor vehicle.
He's interested in a GLE 53 regular. I told him great news. We have really good programs on those.
Wow, does he have a lot of miles?
Yeah, 42,000.
Holy cow.
Black black night pack, driver assist.
Here we are again with our double whammy. Accident on the Carfax, significantly above average miles for the year, although I'm sure everybody will disagree with me. It's got 42,000 miles on it. It's 2022. It's not like an outrageous amount of miles, but when you compare it to the average of vehicles listed for sale that have high 20s, it's about 15,000 miles more than the average, which means that it's quickly approaching 50K. He's going into the right car, but he's going to have significant negative equity, unfortunately.
Payments at $14.07.
He's got $450 worth of negative equity a month. The hybrid number is $60,886. His appraisal is about $46. Now, what does he need in his deal? Does he have Amex? Does he have fleet?
His wife has CCF.
He's in a 48-month lease now. Does he open to that longer term again?
He didn't prefer it.
He's got 16 payments left. He's only got 6,000 miles left anyway, so he really doesn't have a ton of time to be thinking about this one.
So we got to go to 15,000 miles here.
100%. If he stretches out the term again, 48 months, his payment would only go up by $300. Going into an AMG, more car, getting out of the impending doom that he is in. He's in a bad spot. 2025 GLS, nice. It's a hot car he built. How many miles a year?
18,000, 36 months, 4-year maintenance, titled at Florida. It's $540 in over miles. Said he'd love to be under $2,000. I'm like, well, he built a very expensive car.
He's not going to fall off for loyalty, though, because it's a 25. What's he giving us?
First payment down.
Are we leaving this here or shipping it to Florida for him?
It's going to be up here in Cleveland for now.
He said he wants to see a purchase?
He asked about a purchase. I just don't think it makes sense.
With the miles that he drives, he really shouldn't.
I tell him that in email. Doug and I looked at this. For as much as you're driving, the lease is a better protection of your money and your investment without purchasing a depreciating asset.
You don't want to tell him what to do. I would tell him you drive a lot. When you drive a lot, you open yourself up to a lot of downside risk. You could buy it and your payment might be a hair lower, but you could be in a very bad negative equity situation when the time comes for a new one. With the lease, you have a guaranteed exit strategy. When we get to the end of that lease, we take a look and see, hey, do we have some equity? If not, great. You get to walk away from it just like now. Your lease does not have equity. In fact, there's a lot of negative equity that if you had bought the car, you'd probably be on the hook for. We're dealing with a $540 mileage penalty instead of potentially $10,000 in negative equity. I think that's why you've leased as many cars in a row as you have, is to make sure you don't end up in a situation like that.
Got it.
They're both GLCs, both white. One's a 24 and one's a 25.
Are they looking to finance?
No, they're looking to cash.
And they have a trade?
Yeah.
A Honda CR-V, very nice. What's the occasion?
They said they want something nicer, just drives better, more luxury, which is obviously a Mercedes.
Internet's not going to agree. They're going to say that these people are crazy.
Their CR-V is pretty nice, though.
Do they qualify for any incentives?
Nope. Doesn't have
Nothing?
Club, doesn't have Amex, doesn't have a business. They are retired.
What?
They're going to be taking this car down to Florida. They seem to buy new cars every 2 years.
Probably there's a $2,500 incentive. And on top of that,
The dealer discount.
that part is pretty much comparable from 24 to 25, but you've got a $2,500 difference there. And the car itself is a few $1,000s less expensive.
I need to close these people.
We'll close these people. Come on, get jacked.
I already worked with them in January. They ended up getting up Acura.
I really want to sell this 24 right now.
I do too, so make it a good DD deal. I know she likes the brown more. It's the husband's car, but she just kept saying it over and over again. I like this. So they might just go with the brown even if the deal is better, but we'll see. Should I tell them that we have someone asking for a deal or trade?
Let them make the decision on their own. We definitely don't want to be car salesy. Obviously, the 24 is more incentivized, but 25 is a year newer, so there is value there.
All right, thanks.
Get it. Come on.